Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Joining me today is General R. Shankar and General Rajiv Narayanan. General Dushyant. Let's welcome the good generals. Namaskaram, sir. How are you?
Ram, sir, pleasure to be on your channel once again.
Thank you.
So this is the era of T20. So General Rajiv is going to open the innings today, and both generals have presentations today. It's looking at something similar, but we have a lot of scope here to cover. So I yield the floor to General Rajiv now. Over to you, sir.
Okay, so can we have the slideshows? I'll
Yeah.
start from. Okay. Essentially, why it is a very important thing to look at our Western neighborhood security, because we all know what is going on in Iran. It can explode at any time, and then the whole Persian Gulf explodes. And in that, to secure ourselves, we need to see how to get the Red Sea secure, and the areas adjacent to the Red Sea. We'll have a look at that. What all we have done, what is needed to be done. So when I'm looking at the Western neighborhood, essentially I'm not touching Egypt, basically Libya, Sudan, Ethiopia, Somalia, Yemen. And these are the ones which are important. Egypt अपने पाले में है अभी, so we need not worry about it. It's the reason being that it's one of the more stable countries in this neighborhood. So why is it important for us? It is vital for the India-Europe link now. Even if IMEC gets delayed and you have a problem in the Persian Gulf and movement there becomes late, at least through the Red Sea and the Mediterranean, you'll be able to get into towards Europe, and you would also get your link to Israel via the Mediterranean Sea. Like I said, the unstable Gulf can disrupt energy flows. There's quite a large quantum of our energy which still comes from Saudi Arabia and Iraq. And once the Iran situation blows up, then it becomes unstable. And that is why you find our government going in for diversification. There is a need for this diversification so that you will be able to get your energy. So you're not just doing deals, you're investing in the energy fields. This also secures, because we are one of the largest, amongst the largest energy suppliers to Europe. So if your Red Sea corridor, you are able to maintain some amount of security through that, then the connectivity for the routes to energy supply to Europe, the refined oil which we send, is secure. And there was earlier talk of Islamic Quad, which has fallen away, which was people were trying to build it up on Saudi Arabia and Pakistan's defense pact. Turkey and Qatar wanted to come in. That's collapsed. But what is now emerging is an Israel, Greece, Cyprus, and India joining hands together as a Mediterranean Quad. And it could also include UAE, because UAE has very good relations with all of us. So when that happens, then it comes as a balance as far as Greece and Cyprus are concerned to Turkey. Now, in this, you have to see where is USA, where does Kingdom of Saudi Arabia stand, and what does Turkey want to do? What will it do? So we will look at there are flags here which tells you, when you look at Somalia, divided into three parts with one contested portion in between, where Berbera is written, that is Somaliland, which is virtually independent. Bosaso, that's Puntland area, it is closer to the contested area. Between the Somaliland and the Puntland, the dotted area is the contested land. And below Puntland is Somalia, which is recognized by people. So just look at this UAE flag, which is a vertical red with horizontal green, white, and black. Bosaso, Berbera, Asab. Asab is in Eritrea. So they are already there. They are also there where the Gulf of Eden is written. Aden, where the N is there. Southeast of that, there is a big island. They have a base there also. And just off Yemen, where the vertical line is there for the Red Sea, just off that, there is another island which is also owned by UAE, and they have a base there. When you look at Somaliland, Israel, UAE, Ethiopia, US, UK, Taiwan, they support Somaliland. Israel actually has recognized Somaliland on 26th of December. As far as UAE is concerned, they have not recognized, but Somaliland passport is allowed. They give visa to people from Somaliland. They do not give visa to Somalia. They don't recognize its passports, nor do they give it to Puntland. So this is a tacit recognition of UAE of Somaliland. Where does India stand? India has very good relations now with Ethiopia, with Eritrea, and with Somaliland. So the very regions where you have UAE, you are also having good relations. And when you look at Eritrea, on top of UAE's flag is Russia's flag, white, blue, and red horizontal lines. So there is a presence of Russia also there with you. As far as Somalia is concerned, only US, UK, EU, Turkey, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, they support them. But they are well away from the Horn of Africa. So that is the first stage that you have. And this is the growing sentiment which came that maybe they are doing it because the government is not too certain how the IMEC will run. General Shankar will speak later about it. That could be we could align our connection to Europe via the Red Sea. Now, what exactly is Yemen? The southern portion of the coastline earlier was taken by the Southern Transitional Council, STC, which was supported by UAE. There has been tremendous pushback by Saudi Arabia. They have been able to take most of the eastern portion of the coastline. The shaded portion is still not stabilized. STC is still there. The full control of STC is what is shown in yellow. Aden port, which is the main port of Yemen, is still with STC. So the Babel Mandeb area, all these areas, this is going to be uh, safe for you because, like I said, on the northern side where this government portion is given, the green one are the Houthis. So this area is secured by UAE. This island here you see that is also secured by UAE. And it is more and more coming out that the defense deal, as far as Saudi Arabia is concerned, they want Pak boots to secure Yemen. They need them in Yemen. And there are reports that most likely Pakistan, instead of sending their armed forces, anyone from the army, is likely to send their state sponsored actors like LET and JESH. Some JESH fighters are already there on ground. Now we look at Saudi Arabia, Sudan. Sudan, as we know, we got split into north and south, southern being mostly non-Arab. Uh, so the Western countries had that cleared out. And as you look at the map, the oil fields are with South Sudan, the pipeline and the outlet and refineries are in North Sudan. So the map on the right, which tells you. So the sorry, my mistake. Yeah, South Sudan. And even what is available in Sudan, now you see the two split. The reddish pink portion, that is controlled by the Sudanese armed forces. And they are supported by the Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Turkey. And there were reports that Wagner group of Russia could be there. The one in yellow, that is with the rapid support force, which is fighting against the Sudanese support armed forces. That is with them, which is supported by UAE, Chad, and when I say Libya, this is Haftar, Eastern Libya, Haftar's group. And They also have the oil fields, but they don't have the pipeline. You got to see what do they do now. Will they shift the oil pipelines? They'll have to make it towards Libya for Haftar. The other is option is towards the east to come to Sudan and Ethiopia. The only problem is Ethiopian oil fields are towards the right bottom corner of Ethiopia. It's quite far away. It may be closer to take it via Libya, but things as it stands, it is going through Sudan, and where Port Sudan is written, just south of it is a Port Suakin, which is controlled by Turkey. So, in this entire Red Sea, when you look at it, as we have got it stabilized with support of UAE and now Israel, except, except for Suakin, which is with Turkey, right up to the Suez Canal is secure. A word about Libya. Libya, as we all know, is split into two parts. The yellow portion is what is controlled by the Haftar group, and you see it is the maximum, which is centered around Benghazi. And the recognized government is in Tripoli, which is supporters are Turkey, Qatar, Italy, US, UK, EU. And this is one place where UAE and Saudi Arabia are on the same page. And as you see on the right, most of the oil fields, refineries, and pipelines of Libya, that is being controlled by the Haftar group. So that is where I said, if you look at it, this area where I have put this red arrow, which is under RSF control, it's not too far from the pipelines of Libya, though Libyan oil fields are much closer towards the coast. So, what are the shifting alignments? KSA and UAE are having their standoff in Yemen. But the point to be noted is KSA is looking inwards for its own protection. UAE has been setting up all these bases in the Horn of Africa. It started it as far back as 2010, and between 2010 and 17, it has set up its bases. KSA is looking more inwards because Yemen is right on its border, and it would not like another that the entire border, their border, be with UAE. Now, EU USA, they are gradually shifting towards you, and I gave it near to medium term because I don't suppose that they would carry on with being very close to you, since what is coming out is there is a change in the layout of the global order which they are used to. Maybe EU may change, but I don't think USA is going to change. So that's why I put it a new alignment, the next one of IMEC via Red Sea. KSA, Turkey, Hiramandi, their alignment is showing deep fissures. And which way does Pakistan go? Hiramandi, I call it. You don't know. They're already crying as far as US is concerned. They see that it is fully aligned with us. And the Khwaja Asif is openly stating in the parliament now that we have been used as toilet paper. So the only thing to tell him is that, handsome, you all did it with your eyes wide open. You double crossed both sides and raked in all the money for yourself. Now, when the people have no use for you and no money is coming, you're crying. So there is a firestorm coming in the Persian Gulf. And so GCC will have to look after for their own security. And I suspect double crosses galore going on here. A lot of them, if they feel that the US is not looking after their interests, they may double cross. Because now, if it becomes regional, that's what Iran has threatened. How much of a success it is, the double cross will depend on that. If it is very successful in making it, converting into a regional war, then double crosses galore will take place. And the problem with Turkey is that the Mediterranean Quad is coming at a time when its relations with USA appear to be a little strained. And that exactly is available to you, that quad, to secure your IMEC via Red Sea and uh, into the Mediterranean. So this is what I see which is emerging out here. UAE had played its cards very well since 2010, and they are very secure and embedded in that area. I have the photographs of what all they have made in the various ports, Berber Port and Bossa Port and others. They have uh, defense establishments, they have runways, they have done up the ports. So just look at it, they have a lead time of almost about 10 to 15 years. Uh, Turkey is only at one place. So these places they have had a great lead time. And now Israel has joined, and you have good relations with UAE. So in a way, this secures your complete corridor. Like I said, the flag follows the silver. So if your silver is going through, now going will go through your Red Sea, you need to take steps to secure it. So you're not doing it yourself, you're doing it in connection with other countries. So I'll stop.
Thank you so much, sir. General Shankar.
Yeah. Look, what I'm going to speak is complementary to what Rajiv has spoken. I'll just zoom out a bit and then start the whole thing. Can we have the slide, please? It's a follow up, actually. 24 was supposed to be the year of the mega elections. A lot of countries went to thing. But two elections stand out. One is Trump and one is India. What happened in these? I mean, if you have to understand how the new global order is emerging and how this Red Sea order, it's not only Red Sea order, how the whole story is emerging. If we understand that, the rest everything in place. See, India, right? We had a very strong democratic government, stable coalition which came up, and it's playing its part. Okay. Uh, if you see rest UK, UK also went to elections. Where is UK? Every second day there's a change of prime minister. I don't even know who the prime minister is now. You saw Europe swinging to the right. Okay. And a lot of anti-incumbency all around. But the remarkable thing happened in America with the arrival of Trump, who's changed the global order quite a bit. I mean, we have to accept that. Okay. Now, the dominant political forces in the world today are India and USA. I'm saying it very responsibly. It's not making as if um, something, because I'm an Indian, I'm talking like this, but that's how it is. You see China, see the rate of drop in China in terms of its political capability is hardly anything. And you see how many people are making headway to India. It's a beeline. Everyone wants an FTA with India. There's a reason for it. It's not only your market and trade and all that. The things have shifted, and we'll just understand that shift. Yeah, okay. And you have to, like I said, you have to understand the shift from here. These are the four choke points, major choke points of the world. Who controls these choke points? Controls everything. There are others. I'm not saying no, but Panama Canal, obviously. Then the Suez Canal, Red Sea, Bubble Mandab, which we're talking of. Third is, of course, the Malacca Strait. And fourth is the Hormuz, Strait of Hormuz. These four, if you control everything. Okay. You are then you are on top of the shack. Who controls these? Let's take a look. We know uh, Panama Canal, China is out. They've been kicked out from China, from Panama Canal. Earlier, both ends of the canal, they had a port, and they were controlling the operations of the port, everything. The moment Trump came, he sent Rubio. Rubio read the riot act to Panama government and said out. Next day, they almost nationalized it. They had a technical issue. They didn't nationalize it. The 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 Attorney General of Panama went to the court, and the court has given a ruling that let China out. China wants to take it to arbitration. They can keep taking out. वो कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. Out. Plus, you add what has happened around Venezuela, Guyana, what's that, Colombia, and what's happening in Cuba. Cuba में तो तरस रहे हैं. I mean, we might curse Trump for many things, but I think that part he's just thrown China out of the equation. And now USA is firmly in control of that Panama Canal. Okay. Now let's get to Suez Canal. Okay. You look at Suez Canal, Who's in control of Suez Canal? And it's going to change the Red Sea dynamics, which General Rajiv Narayanan explained to you in detail. I will talk of that. I'll have to talk of this in a little detail, add to what he has said, and give a different perspective. I mean, I won't say different perspective, some perspectives which is. The third is, of course, your Malacca Strait. But the thing which connects Malacca Strait, Strait of Hormuz, and your Bab al Mandeb is India, which juts out into the Indian Ocean. So the Indian Ocean becomes a very, very, very strong piece of sea. You control the Indian Ocean, you control Red Sea. Okay, and if you see, remember what happened during that Iran-Israel war and whole of last year, what was happening? The inner part of the Red Sea, American forces were happening. Outside the Gulf of Eden, it was Indian Navy which was operating. That is the island of Socotra, Somalia, right down to Madagascar. And so we had a lot of control. That's why I said we had a lot of stakes, what General Rajiv Narayanan also said. Now, India's role in IOR is expanding like never before. And there's no replacement for it. No one else has got the equity which India has. Okay? We'll understand this because understanding this will give you the thing how India will have its grip on this entire Red Sea, the way Rajiv Narayanan explained in detail. Look at this map. What are these yellow dots? Right. This, of course, is Andaman Nicobar. So we all know it's a no-brainer. The moment you have Andaman Nicobar, Malacca Straits is under control. Not only under control, uh, but 3 months back we were invited to be part of a joint patrolling of Malacca Strait with Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. So we are there already. You're in charge of patrolling that area, right? You have been invited into that whole story. This was not now earlier. Then this is of course Minikoi. Minikoi, you established a base which will only keep expanding. Okay. Uh, this of course is Diego Garcia, in between is Maldives. So this is under control with Diego Garcia there, US forces. And one thing, whatever Trump did about trade, shade, and all that. The defense framework agreement and that part was very clear that we'll not do anything without India. Uh, Throughout last year, the military to military contacts continued. Okay, that thing never changed. Now we'll come to the other three interesting. What is this place? This is Dukum. Dukum is a port in Oman which we operate from freely. People say, China has got so many ports, wonder. China doesn't have the leeway which we have in Dukum, right? And then these two are very interesting. This is a place called Agaliga, part of Mauritius, and this is a place called Assumption Island, which is part of Seychelles. Seychelles, we have just given them some $127 million, and we've said we'll uh, develop the airport out there. You look at Seychelles; it controls the Madagascar Strait completely. It's at the entrance of the Madagascar Strait. Okay, and this gives you the control over the southern channels of Maldives. This gives you the control of the northern channels of Maldives, and this gives you the control of either this or that. Yeah, people think, but you actually expanded your reach into the Indian Ocean. Does anyone else have equities like this here? Zero. No one else has the kind of basis which we have in Indian Ocean region. Yeah, USA has one in Qatar. It doesn't have anything here. Okay. And of course, Diego Garcia. Diego Garcia is in the middle of nowhere, actually. That's his problem. Now, this is Assumption Island. And this is that airport, airfield which we are building, which we have to build into a proper airport with all facilities. And I'm sure government of India will do what it has to do for that. And this is the Agalega Island. Look at this airport; it's already there. Our navy is operating from there, right? Now so with that kind of a thing. Now let's get into the Red Sea part of the story. See, what General Narayanan said, without getting into Sudan, Libya, AO, let me put it this way. Yemen, UAE's got a pakada over there. Okay. Here, Israel in Somaliland, which he said, which means you're controlling Bab al Mandab. Houthis have been pushed to the north. If you saw his earlier thing, which they had gone to the north. And Houthis have one funny thing. I mean, I must tell you this. They've never touched Indian shipping. Indian shipping in all this time, they've never touched. They've let go. So this is the dynamic here. What are these red dots? This is Saudi Arabia's play. Why? This is Neom, which the city which Saudi Arabia is trying to build. He started off as if it was something great and all that, but it is he's run out of money and it's shrinking. It's a small thing, but with that he wants Port Sudan on the other side, which is that Sudan armed forces under control, because both these give control on the complete Red Sea, and then all the channels will go through. So that's Saudi Arabia's play. Okay, but Saudi Arabia has a weak hand. Uh, okay, it's got a weak hand relatively because it's going low on thing. Plus, it wants to keep its flag up to say, I'm the biggest country in this area. I am the biggest one in the Muslim world. And they tried to overshadow UAE, and UAE and Saudi Arabia today are at loggerheads with each other. At some places, like he said, in very funnily, in Libya, this is Libya, they are together. But most of the places, they are on the opposite sides of the fence. Right. Now, this fight between Libya and uh, it's not Libya, sorry, Saudi Arabia and UAE has implications for the complete Middle East. And it has implications even for us. But I'll come to that a little later. All this has happened because Iran has become weak. Iran's arms have been cut off. All those Houthis and Pouthis and all these fellows have been smashed up. And Hezbollah, all that we know, they are in a bad shape. Iran doesn't know it's going to get attacked tomorrow or not. Whether we like it or not, the American presence is huge out here. It can't be shaken off. No one can shake the American presence off. To that extent, American interest is around Strait of Hormuz. It is in their interest to keep the Strait of Hormuz open. It is if it is in their interest to keep the Strait of Hormuz open, they are serving our purpose to get our oil through. So I mean, basically, the whole game is energy, right? And of course, like I said, Dukum is here. We'll be able to control it very easily. Now, what is this? This is the interesting part. That's the port called Piraeus. Why are we talking of Piraeus? Because I'll come to that in the next. Because Piraeus is the European head of the IMEC. Why are we talking? Why should you need Red Sea at all? That's a fundamental question. Red Sea you need, India needs, because that's the alternate to IMEC. And at this point of time, that is seems to be coming faster up. Okay. And the root of this whole story is that I2U2 deal, which happened in the Abraham Accords. The the crunch of that whole story is the deal between Israel and UAE. Now, those chaps are on one wicket, which is anathema to the rest of the Arab world. Of course, in that, we also went in USA, virtually backed out. But now I think USA will come back, right? The danger for us, all this is that with the trade deal, there's a lot of talk that India and USA should become strategic partners and all that. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not because the amount of distress which has happened is huge. But at the same time, our military to military cooperation is better. So we'll have to see. That's a question mark. I have my own views about it, how much we can trust USA on these issues. We know we can't trust it. So we have to make our own equities and make our own things. And I think India is very aware of this and we are doing it. Now, the next thing I want to explain here is like I said, enhanced USA presence, US presence is on the cards. Let's not wish it away. They're there. And to that extent, it's a huge military presence. All these channels are important for them also to be kept open because it's their logistics. Their logistics has to come from here. They have to come through these areas only. Okay. And in US and India have a pact. We have a pact. LEMOA, Logistics Memorandum of Undertaking. So we have that thing. So we shouldn't keep, we can't forget all that. It's there, that they are all legal undertakings. Then this KSA Pakistan Turkey pact has collapsed, as General Narayanan said. That's gone. Everyone thought of that Islamic NATO and all that. The contradictions in that are too much, and Turkey was under pressure. So someone twisted Turkey's tail and said, "That's you want to go there. So all your NATO, FATO, all that will go for a toss. EU will go for a toss." Quickly, that fellow backtracked. Now, what is left in this is KSA Pak Pact. It is 0 by 0, right? So that has collapsed. That's a now only a defense arrangement of sorts, which has got no value. What is emerging, which is very strong, is the emergence of UAE, India, Israel, Russia, and the the centerpin of all this is UAE. UAE has gone to Russia. They've spoken to Putin, right? They've spoken, of course, to India. They came. We remember last month, MBZ came here. 2 hours, signed a MOU, went off. Israel and UAE are acting in concert with each other. I told you, one is controlling north of the Babal Mandab and the other is in the south of Babal Mandab through Somaliland, right? So you are able to control. Of course, let's not forget, in Djibouti itself, China has a base, USA has a base, France has a base, all 2 kilometers away from each other. So all these are there in that area. So, right, but despite that, it's difficult for people to keep that port open. The requirement is more of being diplomatic than just trying to bash on the Houthis. But then this is important. Then the 3+1. What is 3+1? Israel, Greece, and Cyprus. Right? This is Cyprus. Israel, Greece, and Cyprus are now getting into a pact, and they have invited India into that, which means it's not only the Northern Arabian Sea and the Red Sea, but you got your footprint into Mediterranean. They want us to operate in Mediterranean. And to this extent, last year, towards the end of the year, we sent, I think, 2, 3 ships out there. And this thing, there was some loose talk that, Turkish ships, encircled us and all. That is foolish. They never came anywhere near us. Okay. And, and here I must tell you, we all talk of Turkey. What is Turkey's weakness? Turkey's weakness is its navy. Biggest weakness. Why? Greece is a nation of islands. The nearest Greek island to Turkey is 3 kilometers. Turkey doesn't have any islands. As a result, because of the islands, Greece has a control of a huge swath of this area. Pura. This is Turkey. Right up to the Turkey's waterline, you have the Greek sea, or rather territorial water. So they are left with very little territorial water, or what's that, EEZ and all that. EEZ goes up to 200 kilometers. Turkey doesn't have all that. So Turkey is on a fix actually. This combination of Israel, Greece, uh, Cyprus, and India and is very dicey for them. And we made it. So that means you actually sidelined Turkey out of the equation. And he will not come. He doesn't have the capability to come there and do anything. He's trying to make headway here. Okay. Now let's look at the India Middle East economic corridor. Everyone thinks it's out. I think it's going to come in very fast. Right? This is the original thing from Mumbai or Rajkot to Jebel Ali, after that by road across, by land, up to Israel, through Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Haifa to Piraeus by thing and off. Now, with all these things which are happening, why Red Sea? Why are we talking of Red Sea? This will take a little time to come, and I'll come to that after this. Will take, but we are looking at this today. We are looking at this route through the Babal Mandap, cross, go into Piraeus and out. This is going to come, and this gives you strength. You start that. Don't wait for Saudi Arabia to come. Don't wait for the overland route to develop and all that. Just start. People are looking at that so that with all the equities which are built up, you and if you can act up to Greece in concert with Israel here and in concert with Israel and UAE in this area. And UAE has got its own links in this part. Make use of them and go through. Okay. That is where we are. Now we'll come to Saudi Arabia. So everyone felt that, if we have an equation with South UAE and Saudis will be up against us, Pak Saudi thing will go against us, all that. That's all poppycock. Because Saudi Arabia knows भाई पैसा चाहिए तो वो he has to come to India. पाकिस्तान क्या देगा? वो तो वैसे ही कंगाल है. वो तो डिफेंस मिनिस्टर तो बोल रहा है कि तो वो तो हम तो क्या है यूज टॉवल्स हैं व्हाट्स इट टिश्यू
Toilet
पेपर
paper. Toilet.
टॉयलेट पेपर है वो वो तो टॉयलेट पेपर है वो क्या देगा सऊदी अरेबिया का व्हाई एम आई सेइंग दिस 10 days back or last week sometime a framework agreement has been signed between India and Gulf Cooperation Council GCC and that framework agreement GCC includes who Saudi Arabia of course the others Kuwait Bahrain ये सब है वहाँ 10 countries. So there is going to be a FTA with Saudi Arabia. And please remember, they've already invested $10 billion in India last year. And if we shouldn't forget that, Op Sindoor, when it was happening, our Prime Minister was there in Saudi Arabia. The moment our Prime Minister aircraft went into Saudi Arabia, their jets accompanied him to Riyadh. And of course, they came back that very day, 22nd April last year. We know all that. So we should not think that Saudi Arabia is our enemy. Far from it, that fellow is going to come to us. पाकिस्तान बोलना अच्छा है ठीक है तो वो जवान दे देगा वो मैन पावर दे देगा cheap manpower he'll get which he'll use against Yemen and all that if there's a Balika Bakra bit to be sent into Gaza so be it, send Pakistani manpower but for their own thing because MBS burnt his things here at Neom is somewhere here okay he's had a problem there because that Neom city has not come up the way he wanted. And he put a lot of money in it. There's no ROI. So there is all the princes in Saudi Arabia are up in arms. And those who know Saudi Arabia, it's not a homogeneous lot of people. They're very tribes. Each tribe has its own prince, and each prince has to be given certain amount of money for the chaps to survive. So they have problems. So overall, if you see, uh, it's just not a matter of that we are doing so much trade and we are all we economy is doing well all that we have actually solidified our presence in this area you have to understand that and we have good equations with here in the Horn of Africa we have good relations with Somalia we have good relations with Puntland and Somaliland everyone that Somalian vice president or vice prime minister, deputy prime minister, someone who studied in Andhra Pradesh and in Pune. Okay, he speaks perfect Hindi. So that's the kind of equities we have, and the equities are now coming good. So far, people said, "Oh yeah, क्या India है? India तो अच्छा है, but वो काम करके कुछ नहीं देगा." Things are changing now. Right? So that's what I thought I'll put across from an Indian perspective. Of course, you have to contend with the fact that USA presence will be there because he's got too much interest. And Trump wants to control oil. And very importantly, in that the thing which I showed, I go back to see, out of all this, these four important choke points. Three choke points, if they have to be controlled, India is in the game. No other country can do that control. Okay? Or when I say control, control is either to close or open, right? Or prevent others' movements. China and all is out. China has got no role to play here. In fact, China has not done anything during the Iran-Israel war, nor is it doing anything now. Right? So that's what I thought. I'll put across, Shreya, back to you.
Thank you so much, sir. We have a few questions from our
I
viewers.
can't hear
We
you.
can take. Oh,
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, then I'll have to come back. Okay, I'll go out and come back.
thank
Please
you.
go ahead, carry
Thank
on.
you. Thank you. Yeah. So let's take some questions now. Let me just start the questions going. The first question is from Akash Tadani. There's a major problem brewing in the Red Sea area. 30 inscriptions in Tamil, Brahmi, Prakrit, and Sanskrit have been identified at tombs of the Valley of the Kings in Egypt. Your views, General
So,
Rajiv.
so the basic issue should not forget, for thousands of years we have been trading in that area. When you trade in that area, it means you keep your agents there who stay there, who are coordinating with the locals, because you remember what the PM had mentioned about Mossam. So you went by the season. One season the winds took you to that place. The other season the winds changed and you came back. That's how the trading was done. So I'm not surprised you're finding so many things in so many places. I don't know whether they were Sanatanis at that time. We have no clue. But this we know. We were trading. Even if you go back to about 1500, 1800 BC, 2000 BC, you have been trading with them. When you trade, your agent is there. When your agent is there, he will have things written. And all these people were trading, people from Tamil Nadu, people from all over the peninsular India, everybody was trading there, both sides. So I'm not surprised that you have inscriptions found in Tamil, Brahmi, Prakrit, and other things. I'm not surprised.
Next one, please. General Shankar, this is to you, sir. India being an energy supplier in Europe, will it come to an end if we stop buying and processing Russian oil, or will India continue to buy from other sources and keep supplying to Europe?
Yeah. See, the point is India is a refining power. Please understand that. That will go nowhere. Whether you buy from Russia or you buy from Europe or you buy from, I mean, Europe में तेल नहीं है, USA or you buy from Oman or wherever, how does it matter? Oil is coming, you're refining it, they want refined oil. They couldn't care a damn. And let me also clarify this business about Russian oil. I don't think we're going to cut off Russian oil at any cost.
So
See,
may
Mr.
I add
Trump,
something?
yeah,
May
yeah,
I add
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah,
to it?
yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
mathematics,
yeah.
if somebody just sits there and calculates, the mathematics don't add up. You are
Yeah,
taking
they don't end
47
up.
million tons of oil from Russia annually, 47 million tons. If you total up whether you take from Venezuela, whether you take from USA, any other country, max they can get to is close to about between 25 to 50% of this quantum.
Mhm.
How do you make up for the balance of the quantum?
Balance. You have to go
The
to
maths
Russia.
don't add up. And this, I'm sure Trump and his team know he's playing to his MAGA gallery. Please remember that.
वो
His
तो यार
midterm
अगले
elections are coming.
मिड टर्म इलेक्शंस के बाद खत्म हो जाएगा. He will
His
say,
midterm
okay, we,
elections are coming.
बस, I am sure we have also spoken to Russia about it. तो ये सब कहानी है ये.
Lavrov himself
General
said only
Rajiv.
Trump is saying and nobody else is saying.
General Rajiv, does the newly established Iran-China rail link for carrying oil is a workaround for Malacca Strait? I read somewhere China imports over 1.4 million barrels, planning to increase to 15 million barrels.
Okay. Shiva Ravi, you need to get, again, like I said, your maths correct. How many uh, barrels of oil or tankers would be there in the train which is going, right? How many days does it take to go from Iran to China? Remember, the gauges change. Moment you go into the old Soviet Union, the gauge has changed. Moment you get into China, the gauge has changed. Right? How do you do the handling? How many trains can they handle? What is the total number of oil that can reach there vis-a-vis a very large tanker which takes it there? It's all nice narrative building, sir. Please get the maths and you will get to know who's telling what.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
General Shankar, after the defeat of Ukraine, the importance of Turkey has gone up for USA. That's not good news for us. How should we counter that?
And I don't think Ukraine has been defeated so far. Okay, let's be very clear. That battle, no one has won, no one has lost so far. And both have lost. Both fools have lost. I call it a foolish war right from day one. Ukraine has lost, Russia has lost, Europe has lost, America has won. America is laughing all its way to the bank. Okay. But that's it. There's no this thing. And importance of Turkey has not gone up, please. Why? Look, they've been pulled out of that KSA pact. They don't want Turkey to interfere anywhere in its dealing with Iran, Shiran, and all that.
There was a book,
Don't think. Yeah, please.
just remind them of the book, a very famous book of the Yom Kippur War of 73. No victor, no vanquished.
No vanquished. Yeah.
This is typical that situation. No victor, no vanquished.
They're, though, I mean, you see, look at the Ukraine-Russia war. One chap gets a trainload of ammunition, he poops it off, and end of story. Till the other guy comes, that's the attack. That's how it's going. Their economies are short. They can't do it. Actually, I mean, it's a tribute. I pay tribute to Putin the way he's managing things. For already 4 years, he's continuing with a economy which is, almost dead. Chalo, let's see how it goes.
Last question, sir, to General Rajiv. Is Socotra and surrounding not of any concern, save for UAE and Israel, or is it just logistically unnecessary? Thank you.
If UAE and Israel are there, I have good relations with them. Why do you want to spend money and go there?
Yeah, yeah.
Simple, simple economics. He's good relations with me. He's there. If I want to go there, I'll go there and make use of his facilities.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, General Shankar. And that brings us to a close of today's program. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel from where you are watching. There are 3 channels: Strategic Initiatives, Gunner Shot, and P Gurus. Strategic Frontlines, Gunner Shot, and P Gurus. And wherever you are watching, please like and also follow the channel. Thank you once again, gentlemen. We'll see you very soon. Namaskar.
Thank you.